Blues Cruisers, welcome to day 2. It's Soul Blues, or it's Wig Night if you choose. But in any case, it's a very special day. It's our normal Soul Blues Gospel Brunch day, as you know, but we're also doing a tribute to Scrap Iron. So I'm going to invite Roger to come up and tell you what he's thinking about today. Roger?
Thanks, Kevin. Yes, as many of you know, or should know by now, we lost one of our family members this past year to a freeway accident in Memphis, Tennessee on November 6th. Frank Robinson Jr., also known as Scrap Iron. And Scrap Iron, through the years with the Blues Cruise, had done 30 cruises. I first met Scrap Iron in 1984 at an annual Thanksgiving breakfast dance in Kansas City, as he was road manager with Little Milton. I was part of the promotion on the show, and at settlement, the primary promoter wasn't making any money, and so he had told Little Milton that I was part of the mafia. So when I went into the settlement back room, Scrap Iron said, "What are you doing here? Who are you? You don't belong here." So I said, "Okay, I'll move on." So I didn't work with Little Milton from that point in time for a long time. And I walked into B.B. King's on Beale Street probably around 1995. Scrap Iron was working the front door. He was also the MC, and he was doing a really good job as an MC at B.B. King's. Little Milton happened to walk into B.B. King's that night, and he said, "Roger, why am I not playing your club in Kansas City?" I said, "Well, I didn't think you wanted me to be part of your promotion because I was not allowed to be there in 1984. Little Milton said, "Well, Willie Cyrus told me that you were part of the mafia." And I said, "My last name is Neighbor. Does Neighbor sound like an Italian name to you?" So I started working with Little Milton. And in 2004, I booked Milton on the legendary Rhythm and Blues Cruise for the first time. And Scrap came with him as the MC for Milton. In 2006, I booked Milton again, and he unfortunately passed away that summer previous. So I called Scrap and asked him to come on the cruise as an MC. And so he said, "Sure, I'll do it." So from then on, Scrap became a regular MC for the Blues Cruises. He became such a team player. Whenever we went to the islands, he wanted to go and be the MC at the beach. All the bands really embraced him. All the cruisers embraced him. He would hold court up in Lido late at night after he was finished with his MC shifts, and he would tell stories of the road with Little Milton. And people would sit around and listen to him. Los Lobos liked him so much they called him Scrap Lopez. They gave him that moniker. And so we're going to miss Scrap Iron dearly. He would come to Kansas City for all of our reunion shows, drive up from Memphis just to MC. So he was just loved by all, a team player. We're going to miss him. I'm now going to introduce his son, Frank Robinson, also known as Little Mill. We'll have an excerpt from Murphy Palmer. He's going to say a few words as we dedicate this day to the one and only Frank Robinson Jr.
You ever see Scrap Iron on the stage with blue jeans and tennis shoes? It's because my bags didn't make it.
All right, hello, cruisers. I want to introduce you to Frank Scrap Iron Robinson's son. Also, his name is Frank Robinson, and he goes by the moniker of Little Mill after Little Milton. Frank, welcome to the Blues Cruise.
Thank you.
So I met Frank in